doc. I believe that we are live with only 1 minute late. That's pretty good.
Especially for the fact that we rolled in here about a minute and a half ago.
Yeah, we forgot to make a decision whether or not we wanted to go live tonight, but we decided that we would. So here we are. Welcome to the Fantasy Football. Nope. Welcome to the To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. I am one of your hosts, as always, Johnny. To my left is Chris. Beneath me, the hooded villain, is Nicholas. And we will get right into it after this intro. Alrighty, like I said, welcome back to the To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Usually every Monday, but today it is Sunday because we are gluttons for pain. Sometimes we just like to take an extra lashing, if you know what I mean. Tomorrow night the Bengals play, and they're going to beat the Cowboys, and we're going to be there to watch it. So that's why we're here tonight.
Theoretically.
Yep, theoretically. So that's why we're here tonight, to do this shindig with y'all. As always, we will get right into the shenanigans. Let me tell you, I had a rough week. I took a chance with my heart, and my heart has failed me many times. Nick is still retained first place. He went 9-3 this week. Keep in mind, since it's Sunday Night Football is still going on. We will keep you updated. Monday Night Football obviously has not been played. Nick went 9-3 this week, taking his standings to 91-43. Chris had a modest week at 7-5, taking his standings to 88-46. This is my first negative week, folks. I went 4-8. 4-8. It was a rough one. Now, there were some close ones. For example, I picked the Giants over New Orleans, and the Giants kind of screwed the pooch at the end of the game there.
Did they miss a field goal? What happened? I was watching it on the fantasy, like the ESPN fantasy app, and it just said that it was 4th and 15, and then the game just ended. But they were in field goal range.
I forget exactly what happened, but it was something very. Oh yeah, it got blocked. It got blocked.
Okay.
Yeah. So I picked Carolina over the Eagles, which that wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Dude, Carolina's looking kind of good. That's like 3 weeks in a row that they've almost. They almost beat the Chiefs. They almost beat the Eagles. They almost beat the Bucs.
I saw a graphic today that over the last 5 games, Bryce Young is significantly outplaying C.J. Stroud.
Dude, yeah.
It's not good.
Stroud looks like butt lately.
But yeah, Bryce Young has also been sacked like a quarter of the amount of time Stroud has been, so there's that. But yeah, I went 4-8, taking me to a 80-54. I'm 8 games behind, so I got to make up some ground.
This is the first time I think that we haven't been like every week we've been like 8-5, and like 7-6. Like we're always like one game off. This is the first one where there's like a pretty big disparity between what we did.
It's because it's playoff week. There's a lot of hopes flying around.
Listen, 13 solid weeks of picking games, and then 14 being the one where there's some disparity. That's a pretty good statistical numbers.
Made it 14 weeks without going negative. I'll take it. But we will move into the first matchup of the week on Thursday Night Football. We have the Rams at the 49ers. Two teams that just absolutely went ballistic today. The Rams, Puka Nacua, just magnets for hands. And the 49ers, true next man up mentality. I'm just going to keep picking up the next running back because I'm getting them all and I'm killing them all. So if you have any 49ers running backs, you can blame me because I'm the one who's killing them. But
yeah, Isaac Arendo is the one that got hurt, in case you're wondering who he's referring to now. Obviously, last week you had McCaffrey and
Jordan Mason.
Yep, going IR. Now you have Isaac Arendo leave the game, went to the locker room. It happened like 3 hours ago, so there's no legitimate update yet, but there's that in front of me.
As for the Rams, Puka Nacua had a little bit of a tweaky during the game, but he came back in, so
he will do that every week. Just fair warning. He will give you a heart attack.
But that was a shootout. I I think
That's kind of a hard
I
one.
think I'm gonna give it
Because
to the
both teams have
Rams.
been like significantly underwhelming, and yet both teams, when firing on all cylinders, like are kind of scary good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By all means, the Rams have better weapons right now, but somehow Brock Purdy and the 49ers put up 38 today. So
Jawan
George Kittle and Juwan Jennings, yeah.
Motherfucking Jennings.
Yeah, I'd say don't say it.
But yeah, like I said, I'm taking the Rams.
I think I am as well.
I'm taking the Niners.
This is a game that I am either gonna be really excited to watch because it's gonna be like 45-43, or it's gonna be like 9-6. Like there's no.
I'm
in
hoping it's
between.
high scoring. Moving on to the first 1 o'clock game on Sunday, we have Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants. The Giants just suck, and so I'm gonna give it to
Derrick Henry might have 300 rushing yards this
yeah.
game.
I'm giving it to the Ravens, hands
Yeah, that's
down.
Oh,
They
not gonna be
absolutely.
close.
they need a fat dub. They've been on kind of a miniature slide here. And with the
A lot of
Bill-
self-inflicted wounds. You
yeah,
had missed field goals. You've had a couple bad penalties late.
lost to the Browns.
You had some bad
Welcome.
drops.
Welcome to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's not close. We don't have to spend a lot of time there. This one, Cincinnati at Tennessee.
Shouldn't
Tennessee-
be close.
shouldn't-
But
it
our defense is
yeah,
Swiss cheese.
Shouldn't be close. I picked up Westbrook Akine today. 2
Did not
points.
score. Yeah. Did
2
not
points.
Score a touchdown.
So that's cool. Calvin Ridley still had a decent game. Tony Pollard I think he had a decent game.
A good amount of rushing yards. I don't know that it translated to much, but they lost to the Jags,
Yeah, which
and they
is
were up the whole game.
it's just hard
It's a
to
rough
do.
one.
Yeah.
That was
um,
a absolute dookie of a game. It was like 6-0 going into like the fourth quarter with like 6 minutes left.
If I'm a fan of either one of those teams,
No hope.
I'm depressed now as a Cincinnati fan, but at least I have players on my team that I like and can root
And at least
for.
our offense is exciting.
Yeah.
Like our defense sucks, but at least I have faith that like genuinely our offense can get lucky and win a game because that's how good they are.
That's about it, yeah. But if you have to watch the Jags or the Titans, I'm sorry. That's
Sorry.
terrible.
Yeah. Really sorry.
But we're all taking Cincinnati, right?
Yeah, I mean this is
Oh,
Cincinnati.
yeah.
Next up, we got an interesting one. We got Dallas at Carolina. I'm taking Carolina here. And
Dude, I kind of am with you. They've been looking nice.
And I think that's because I think Cincinnati's going to go into Dallas and destroy them. And then I think Carolina's going to just nail in the coffin. And then Dallas is just going to follow them all the way down.
Give me Dallas.
I think the thing for me was I've been wanting to pick Carolina. Like I didn't hate Johnny's pick this week or this week's games for Carolina. The problem was it was the Eagles. And then last week
And they gave
it was
they gave
Eats.
Jalen Hurts a little bit of trouble for a little bit of time.
that's what I'm saying. Like they've looked good. Like they haven't been bad. But like it was the Chiefs who like people were like, "Wait a minute. You almost snuck that one out." Then the Bucks. Now granted the Bucks are without
Everybody.
I think Mike Evans came back in that game, but
that was his first game back.
obviously you're without Godwin for the season. I believe that was the game that Cade Otton did like
Nothing.
nothing. It was just the Rashad White, Bucky Irving show. So ultimately, whatever. My point is just it's 3 games in a row. After the Chiefs game, it was kind of like, okay, that was nice. Then you played the Bucks, and I thought like, okay, they figured it out. And I was with Johnny. Like I would have loved to pick them this week, but it was just a bad matchup. I'm gonna take them against the Cowboys because I
Old
think
man Thielen.
yeah.
Adam Thielen, another week with 19 points.
In case you're curious and not sure what to do, Jonathan Brooks went down with a non-contact injury today.
Yeah,
Left
just-
the game never came back.
He's the new Cam Akers.
So that's great.
It was-
Really glad I wasted my 3rd overall dynasty pick on him.
Yeah, just give up on that one.
Yeah.
All right, so we settled that. Moving on to Kansas City at Cleveland, and this is where we will give you our first game update. Does anybody have the game up?
Yeah, I have it
No.
up right now. 13-0. The Chiefs are winning. The Chargers have the ball. and are driving down the field. They're past midfield. So it's gonna be like 3rd and 3 now or something.
I almost had to turn it off again. We poop on him every week, but Chris Collinsworth
Couple,
was
yeah, dude,
just
doing tricks on that thing during the game.
It just Patrick Mahomes did a fadeaway throw, and it's only throw Mahomes can do. We've never seen anything like it. Drifting backwards in the pocket and in his receiver. I'm like, you mean like the guy I watch every week get blasted and throw it 50 yards downfield? Yeah, nobody else is doing that. That's funny. But
I can't. It's hard. The Chargers, honestly, this game have had a lot of opportunities. They've kind of
Quentin
their running
Johnston
backs.
is a bum.
Well, he's looked okay, but he's not good.
I watched one thing out of him this game, and it was a drop. So I was like, dude.
He's had a couple big catches this game, and to his defense. The problem right now is their running backs. Gus Edwards is not good. He does not look the same. And that Vidal guy or whatever has dropped like 4 passes. They have no rush at all. And then they threw a bomb to Josh Palmer a little while ago. That was like a yard too far for being probably like an 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that was on Herbo. Justin Palmer is not that fast.
No, Joshua Palmer is not.
I'm taking Kansas City.
Yeah, I think I am as well. I want to pick the Browns so bad, but I think that's a hard pick.
I'm thinking.
He's weighing how
He's
much
gonna
the
take
hardest
Cleveland.
is. Yeah, just go ahead and mark it down.
I'm taking Cleveland. What's it matter?
Yeah,
Give me
that's what I was
Jameis.
saying.
At this point, I'm legitimately, once the Bengals get eliminated, I'm rooting for Cleveland. I know they're not going to the playoffs or anything, but that's who I want to win games.
Yeah, dude, it's
just joined
fun
the
to root
chat.
for a guy like Jameis.
Dude,
Get a load of these bums.
what is up,
is
Ty?
what Wolf in your pants said.
Yeah, give me Jameis Winston. He is pure comedy. I was right though. I put him in my lineup today with Jerry Jeudy, and they did bust the coverage of the Steelers, and they got a touchdown.
Once.
So one
Yeah.
time, I was hoping for more, but it is what it is. Moving on to Miami at Houston. Houston has looked like a hot load of garbage, and Tyreek Hill finally came alive
Yeah,
today.
what was it? Today was like
All of them
10
do.
catches, 120 yards or something like that in a touchdown.
Waddle played good too.
About time, dude.
Devon Achan had an okay game, 15 points or something. I'm
Didn't
taking.
he get injured?
He did, but he came back.
Yeah, I think he came back. I'm taking
But-
Miami.
Who do they play again?
Houston.
Houston. I'm taking Houston.
Yeah, I think it's Houston. I don't buy the one game. The Jets have been a letdown. I want to see the Dolphins involve those players against a team that's actually good.
Those Tua, remember his name. We don't know, Drew.
Those, I don't know. I think it might have reset him. He's actually looked pretty good
Yeah,
lately.
might have been what he needed.
Yeah, he's okay. I saw these other guys talking about Tua, and apparently every year he starts the season as like the quarterback 1 through like 6 weeks. Like every year he does it, and then he kind of like tampers off, and it's just like middle of the pack, low tier QB1 for fantasy. But obviously, he got hurt, missed a bunch of time, so they're saying that like the joke is that he's got 6-7 games worth of legitimate fantasy value before he dies in
possible.
fantasy. So we'll see. We're
Or-
approaching that benchmark now, so we're gonna find out.
We've got the Jets at Jacksonville. We told you to pick up Braylon Allen, and he did okay. He got you 12. It's exactly what he was projected. That's what we said was going to happen. Nothing special. Aaron Rodgers finally decided he wanted to throw to Garrett Wilson because he was on my bench today, so that's cool. Devontae Adams got a touchdown or 2. Jacksonville still looks terrible.
Yeah,
I'm taking the Jets.
It's a weird. Trevor Lawrence is on IR.
And Mac Jones
so-
is so bad.
Yep.
I'm taking Jets.
ETN got involved pretty a good bit in the passing game.
Yeah, I think he
But-
was up to like double digits, but low double digits.
And the rushing. I don't know if you saw this. I looked at it earlier. Tank Bigsby had like 15 carries for like 50 yards or something like that. ETN had like 4 rushing attempts. So like he lost it. Like that's over. It's gone.
Doug
He's a
Peterson
receiver.
is a liar. Oh,
So
wow. Cool.
I will take the Jets. Update, touchdown, Gus Bus.
Listen to this. This is not football related, but this is wild. This is just how stupid baseball has gotten. Juan Soto and the Mets just agreed to a 15-year, $765 million deal. 15-year, $765 million. And this is why the MLB needs salary cap. Because if I get on freaking ESPN.com tomorrow and I figured out that half of that is deferred, I'm going to rage. Because the Dodgers are paying everybody, but not until the year 200 or 2150. Like, that's... They just it's
Shohei
ridiculous.
Ohtani gets like $2 million for the next like 30 years.
But it's a $700 million
that-
contract.
Yeah.
How old is Juan Soto? How are you signing him to a 15-year contract? This is not fantasy football related. I gotta know. Hold on. 15 years
He's
is
probably
egregious.
like 25, 24. I
Really?
bet. He's pretty young.
I feel like he's been around longer than that.
I'm gonna guess 25.
He's 26. They're signing him until he's 41. That's what we did with Votto. So,
That's crazy.
moving on. That's sorry. I was just those numbers were so huge. I was so distracted. Nick, Chris, did you take Jets?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no way I could take the Jags.
All right, moving on to Washington at New Orleans. New Orleans barely beat Giants. Derek Carr, injury.
Out for the year. They're
Yep.
saying he broke his left arm
Yeah.
somewhere.
Oh.
So
He just... It might be time for Derek Carr to hang it up. He's not very good.
It's not. That experiment has passed. Something changed when he had that MVP caliber season with the Raiders like 8 years ago when he like shattered his ankle
Yep, never the
in the
same.
playoffs. Yeah, he was never the same. I don't know if that was just one of those weird one-off years or if genuinely that injury changed him, but it has not been.
I
the
think
same.
he's just like Carson Wentz if Carson Wentz found a starting job instead of being a backup.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
that's
probably same
basically
tier.
what happened.
Doesn't look good. It doesn't look good in your favor when you go to the Raiders, you're there for a long time, and you take them somewhere decent without weapons. Okay, fine. But then you're really bad for a really long time. Then you go out and you get Devontae Adams. He wasn't really being involved in the offense with Derek Carr, so they shipped him out. Then they sent him to New Orleans, where you have Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Taysom Hill that they work in
Michael
all the
Thomas.
time. For the 2 games he played.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
sure.
still.
It's just like it and then like you turn around and you look at that offense and you're like, it is not working.
And he's
It
got
is
2
not-
head
it's not
coaches
good.
fired.
Yeah.
So, all for that, I'm taking Washington handily.
Me too.
I don't think that one will be close. Moving on to what should be Battle of the Gladiators here. Buffalo at Detroit at the 4:25 game. Oh, that's a tough one.
Give me Buffalo.
Dude, I was just thinking that. The
I don't
problem
even
is
think they're the
Buffalo-
underdogs.
Buffalo, I think the bad thing is they lost today. So they're going to be a little
I think if Buffalo wants to
Upset.
win, they can't do what they did today. They have to get James Cook to do something.
dude. I need a James Cook to just have a mediocre day. That's it. They got to the 3-yard line or the 1-yard line 3 times, and James Cook didn't have a single touch. They didn't involve him in the passing game. They didn't involve him in the running game. They got to halftime, and they were like, forget it.
See ya.
Dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're a Shakir owner, congrats. He went off. If you're an Amari Cooper owner, he had a good day. If you're a Josh Allen owner, second week in a row. If you're a Josh Allen owner, just you're the luckiest person in the
He won
world.
you 3,
Yeah,
probably.
and he probably won you 2 weeks in a row.
Stop throwing to Pacheco. Sorry.
um, but Buffalo at Detroit.
I'm taking Detroit.
I'm also going to take Detroit.
Y'all are crazy.
Dude, I just like rooting for Detroit at this point.
I do too, but
I think
Buffalo's
Detroit
got it in the
is
bag.
gonna stick to their game plan more
I
than
think
Buffalo will.
This is gonna be the Amon-Ra bounce back game because Amon-Ra has not scored in 3 weeks
He's
and it's been so mediocre.
Useless, yeah.
Because they haven't needed him.
Well, when you
They don't need
have
to.
what are they calling them? Freaking Sonic and Knuckles back there or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Dude, I'm convinced Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back in the NFL right now.
Whoa.
He is so good.
Hold on. Let me think.
Hey, give half of his carries, or give David Montgomery, take half of his carries and give him to Jahmyr, and he has basically the same, if not better, stats than Saquon.
Yeah, I mean, you're not really wrong.
He's he's like number 4 in rushing yards, and he's splitting carries. Do you understand how crazy that is?
Yeah, but they also just hand off like an ungodly amount of percentage, right?
They do run all the time. But I mean, even still, it's
so does the Eagles.
I think I would still rather have a Saquon style running back because he's just bigger. I like that.
I don't think Jahmyr's that small though.
Nobody's smaller than Saquon.
Yeah, probably.
I think if I'm at the goal line, I have a better chance. That's why they keep handing off to David Montgomery at the goal line. He's definitely top 3, probably top 2. I wouldn't.
You think he's better than Derrick Henry?
Yeah, this
Joe
season.
Mixon?
Yeah.
His age helps.
I don't think Joe
on that
Mixon is
category,
that
too.
much better than he was with us. I think people are just thinking. I think Bengals fans are just saying grass is always greener right now. Joe Mixon is playing well, but he's not playing much better than he was when he was with us. He always played this well with us. We just were. I don't know. We're just content, I guess. Like I don't know.
And the Texans are not throwing this year.
Like, I think Joe Mixon is good. I think he's a top 10, but he's not nearly as good as Jahmyr. Like, that's crazy. Where are we at?
Pittsburgh, Philadelphia.
Good gosh. I mean,
Philadelphia.
Pittsburgh. At this rate, I'm taking the odds. I don't know why. I don't think they're going to lose anymore. I don't know what it's going to take.
Nope, there's no way.
I don't know.
Russell Wilson's invincible. That's the only he has done something to unlock the Broncos country. Let's ride. From that moment on, he has reached another level of untouchability. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
There's no way. This game is gonna be equal. I'm calling.
Listen, okay. In all reality, if Carolina's defense gave Philadelphia a stinker of a time, Mike Tomlin's going to give them way harder of a time.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not worried because I think you if you're looking at Carolina and you're going, I don't really think they're that bad. They put together a couple good weeks now, but I think the mindset going in against Carolina is significantly different than going into the game against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I don't know.
moving on to New England at Arizona. Arizona sucks. They're in the same. They're in the same echelon as Atlanta in my mind. They should be so much better than they are, but they're just not.
It's because Kyler Murray 1 week genuinely looks untouchable. I'll watch him and be like, dude, he's scrambling around, extending plays. He makes these like crazy off balance like throws down the field and finds some open guy. I'm like, dude, he's a freak. And then there's just the next week, or just like Marvin Harrison or Trey McBride are just like standing still somewhere, and Kyler just like doesn't look.
Yeah, he's not.
Like, what are we doing?
He's not. Whenever his contract's up, they got to move on from him. He's not what they're looking for.
Yeah.
But New England sucks.
There's no way you lose to the Patriots.
I'm gonna take Arizona.
Yeah. You taking New England?
Give me New England.
Ooh, little Drake May.
Even in a loss today, James Conner's putting up a good fantasy performance. I don't know what Marvin Harrison did. Kyler had an okay game, but
Kyle had an okay game, but he threw 2 picks. Not
He's
great.
Jameis. They will do that.
Yep, that's pass interference.
Moving on to an important matchup for the AFC if the Bengals somehow cling to life. Indianapolis at Denver.
Problem is, who do you root for? Indianapolis, I guess, because they have a worse record.
I was just say I root for the worst team, which I think is Indianapolis. I mean, I root for the better team, which I think is Denver. I want Indianapolis to lose.
But wouldn't that make? But Denver's in the playoffs currently. We would want them to fall out of the playoffs.
But I think Indianapolis has a higher chance of keep losing. I think if Denver loses once, they have a better chance of bouncing back.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, Denver, if they only lose once and they bounce back, then like they just retain playoff spot. Like we'd rather them lose because the gap between the Bengals and the Colts is closer, right?
Don't they have? I don't know what's Colts' record right now. Are they the same as Miami?
It's the same as Miami, I think. Yeah, maybe Miami has one more win or something. The Colts are not in the playoffs. They're in the hunt. And Denver is. So Denver loses theoretically. They probably still retain. I don't know. I think they're far enough ahead that they would retain that position over the Colts still. I don't think it's like they're close enough that the Colts win, they jump them. So as a fan of the Bengals, I think you want Denver to lose. I'm sorry. Yeah, you want Denver to lose because the gap for the Colts is closer. But that being said, I think the Colts lose, and I'm taking Denver.
Yeah, I also think the Colts lose. I don't think it's going to be close. Same. I think Bo Nix has a bounce back game. He kind of struggled last time when I needed him to not. So now that I'll be eliminated from the playoffs, he'll have a good game. Moving on to Tampa Bay at the Chargers. Mike Evans pooped his pants today. Bucky Irving, I'm sure, had a great game. Rachaad White, I know he didn't. Rachaad White took them all.
He got hurt. Bucky Irving got hurt and didn't finish. He finished like 3 points.
Oh, so Rachaad White had a great game. I saw his points. Good. Yeah.
It was honestly, it really wasn't that. It wasn't like a fantastic. Like Rachaad White had a good game.
Yeah.
I think it was like a decent amount of yards and a touchdown, but it wasn't anything special. The problem was like Trey McBride stunk. He didn't do good. I'm sorry, not Trey McBride. Cade Otton. He didn't do very good. Mike Evans didn't do very good. They had that McMillan kid. He scored a touchdown. Nobody played him, I'm sure.
No.
Update, Quentin Johnson touchdown.
Dude, he's alive. So what's that, 13-7?
Assuming they make this field goal 14-13, Chargers winning. If they miss, it's tied 13s.
Who scored the first touchdown for the Chargers?
I don't remember.
Hey, we made it past. We made it all the way past New England without mentioning Ramondre Stevenson.
I traded him away. I solved that problem.
We did it. The war is over.
But I will say he's been still usable. It's not been good, but the running back situation this season has been bad.
Oh, it's so bad.
And for whether it's you two or whether it's people that I know telling me like you should flip him, he's played and he's getting you a decent amount of points and he's scoring touchdowns, and that's something that not everybody's doing right now.
So do you draft him next year?
No.
That really depends on where he goes. They signed him to a 4-year deal, and they gave him a good amount of money, so he's going to be the guy again.
The
problem is, like, it depends.
Who was their running back when they got him? Because I remember thinking, wasn't it Zeke? Wasn't Zeke there when Ramondre showed up?
Ramondre's been there for a while.
He's been there a long time.
Yeah, but like
the opposite. Zeke showed up because he came from Dallas.
It's just weird. It's weird that they put their eggs in his basket.
I mean, he's been awesome the last several years. It's just been like the problem is that offense is slowly dying. You lost Brady, and then it never was really the same.
Slowly.
And
What do
then,
you mean?
Yeah, it pretty much died.
well, but yeah, my point is with Ramondre, it was kind of the Big Ben effect where the first like 2 years after Tom Brady was just like dump off central. Like Ramondre was just like you thought he was the next Christian McCaffrey, except he was like mega inefficient, but he was getting like 8 catches a game. That's kind of dwindled off now.
That's not even true.
He's-
Because
Dude, yes.
Damian Harris was the guy there
yeah,
for a while.
no, but that only lasted one
It
season.
was like for a year.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like after that, like it was Ramondre, and Ramondre turned into this like he was the guy, and they were using him as like a dump off, like a receiving back a bunch. And so it was just like he wasn't good for football, but he was good for fantasy because he was getting you a bunch of points.
And then they stopped that and decided they just wanted to run him with a gut all the time.
But then this offseason, they signed him for like a 4-year extension. They gave him a bunch of money. So my point is the numbers suggest he's the guy. According to next year when you draft him, I don't know. If it's like 9th, 10th round pick, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I would
It's a
do it.
running
I
back
would do
I'm
it down
take my
there.
shot
Yeah.
on by all means. But if he's like 5th, 6th round, no
No.
way.
They're turning him into what was that fat running back's name from the Packers?
Eddie Lacy.
Yep, they're turning him into Eddie Lacy. Poor Eddie Lacy.
Dude, I miss that guy.
Dude, he was a tank. All right,
Dude, I saw a highlight the other day. For some reason, they were showing highlights of
of Eddie Lacy.
something, and it was Jerome Bettis,
Oh,
the guy from Pittsburgh. Dude, he was big.
he's a big
And
one.
I remember watching him, but like, I just remember being like, oh yeah, he's like a strong runner. And then like when he retired, I didn't think anything about it. And now like 10 years have passed, and the backs that come out here now compared to what
Yeah, dude, there were some fat backs, big backs back in the day.
you're rolling out like Domata Pecco out there.
I
Basically.
know. Hey, he was a fullback for a little bit.
Yeah,
Anything's
all
possible.
400 pounds of that man.
Moving on to Tampa Bay at the Chargers. Oh boy.
Give me Tampa Bay.
That's kind of a tough one.
Have faith in Baker. He's cooking.
Yeah, he
Get it?
has been good. Tampa's been nice. Their running backs have been good. But again, keep in mind Bucky Irving. Bad on injuries. I don't know if you guys saw last week the clip of him walking out of the stadium. He was dressed up like a mummy, basically, with all the bandages and gauze
No.
and ice he had all over his body. He was all banged up all week. They said he was questionable, wasn't sure if he was going to play. He suited up, and then, like, first quarter hurt his back. Didn't come back, so I don't know. Ultimately, I'm taking the Chargers, I think. That's a tough game.
Give me Tampa.
I'm gonna take Tampa.
Keep in mind, watch out for Lad McConkey. He ain't playing tonight. He was questionable all week, so it'll be something to monitor. If he's in,
Mister.
have you seen how good he's been the last several weeks?
Yeah, somehow their wide receiver won.
He's balling.
Mr.
Right now.
Matt
So
Bronner
if he plays,
had
you're playing it.
Lad McConkey in his wide receiver slot as questionable. Put Khalil Shakir in his flex spot. Khalil Shakir played. Then Lad was declared out. Had Jordan Addison on his bench that scored 34.
39.
Oh, 39. Cool. So then he had to go pick
Oh,
he had to go pick up Palmer. Oh no, what happened?
Chargers got a pick, but Joey Bosa jumped off sides.
No,
Of
no,
course.
you can't do the stupid Ohio State scum. I'm kidding.
It was a horrible ball by Mahomes. He
Shocker.
literally just like threw a ball as high as he could and just
Doesn't surprise
I
me.
need to
was
see.
getting hit.
I need to see video evidence that he was offsides.
I mean, he did kind of jump. I don't know how like size he was, but he did do the loop, like, caught himself.
did you guys see the interview of Najee Harris saying he pooped his pants or something, or saying he got the bubble guts against the Bengals last week? Do you remember the?
Is that why he was hunched over?
Yes, he was at the. I don't know if he was just joking or what, but at the podium after the game, he was like, "Oh, that was Pat Fryermuth's wife's Thanksgiving cooking coming back to get me." And I was like, "Dude, dang,
That's funny.
that's crazy." Like I don't know if he's just trying to cover up an injury or what. If that's what happened, that's wild.
That's crazy.
Moving on to Packers at Seahawks. Two teams that are going to sneak in. Well, they're not going to sneak in. They're going to end up in the playoffs and not go anywhere because that's what always
At this rate,
happens.
the Seattle Seahawks might win the division.
Yeah. But that's not saying much.
No, I mean that division's like first place is one game ahead of last place right now.
Give me the Packers.
Yeah, I'm with you. Packers, I think, take that one.
I'll take
They almost pulled out a win against the Lions this week.
I'll take the Seahawks.
Good old Gino. How you feel about Kenneth Walker not playing this week, Johnny?
Honestly, I probably scored more points without him playing. And all because it forced me to pick up Garindo, and he put up 26. And then I had to pick. Well, actually, I picked up Garindo for CMC. So, and then I picked up Braylon Allen for Walker. So I got 12 when Walker's been getting me 10. So it is what it is. Walker was supposed to be like my for sure lock keeper because he's so low, and now I'm staring at it like, do I even waste a keeper on this guy? Like, if he can be an RB1, taking him at 15 is still crazy because it's Kenneth Walker. But it's like, not if you're going to give me 10 every week. Like, I can't start you as RB1 or 2 if you're going to keep giving me 10. Like, that's crap.
Yeah.
So now I'm just looking at my team like, who the crap do I keep? Because I'm about to keep Jerry Jeudy. If they start Jameis Winston next year, I'm about to keep Jerry Jeudy. Like, I don't even care. Like, it's a mess. So we got 2 for Packers, 1 for Seahawks. Moving on to the last game of next week, we have Bears at Vikings. Bears looked stinky poo-poo diaper today. Just couldn't get anything going, and Sam Darnold just went off today.
I don't know where that came from.
This morning, I wake up, I get a notification at like 7:30 this morning. Despite playing out of his mind, Vikings have no intention of signing an extension for Sam Darnold.
I saw that.
And then he puts up 5 touchdowns today. And it's like, are you sure? Are you sure? It's like, you can't possibly be ready to go to J.J. McCarthy right now, right? Or like Chris said, they're paving the way for Rodgers. But
I'm telling you, he's found that form.
we will see. I think the Vikings. I'm gonna against
there's no
my morals of wanting to pick against them every week. I'm taking the Vikings.
I'll take the Bears. I got that feeling.
Do it.
Gross.
Yeah, it feels yucky, but I got a feeling.
And that concludes the matchups for next week. Now we move on to the only segment of the week, Nick's Picks, where he gives you players that are
owned in less than 50% of leagues.
I slowed it down for you this week.
I was ready.
All right, take it away, Nick.
Got there.
All right, starting quarterback. These are just your flex plays if you have a bye or you have an injury. Matthew Stafford.
I think buys are over now, right?
Oh, okay. Well, so if you have an injury or something, you're still looking for a quarterback somehow. Matthew Stafford plays San Francisco. Defense, they're but not like crazy this year. And he's been going crazy lately. Puka and Kyron and Cooper Kupp. I couldn't think of his name. They're all great weapons, and he's somehow still owned in less than 50% of leagues. Second quarterback, Geno Smith. He plays Green Bay. It's going to be a high-scoring game. He's also kind of in the same scenario. He's got a lot of good weapons around him. He's got a very high ceiling. These guys have both high ceilings, but they kind of have low floors, so they're a little bit risky. Running backs, Tank Bigsby. ETN looks still not great, and it's kind of like split, but Bigsby looks better. So you're kind of just hoping Bigsby, I think they use him in the red zone a little bit more, so you're hoping for a touchdown maybe. But your number one should be Israel and a Banaconda. Don't know how to.
My Banaconda.
Yeah. He is like the 6th string running back at San Francisco at this point.
I'm gonna get him.
If Garendo's down, you're gonna pick him up. He was crazy in college, and then the Jets waived him. But he could be kind of crazy, especially if whoever they roll out there is gonna be good. Israel
I saw
Anaconda could be the next Christian McCaffrey at this point.
so there's this thing where they take your like 40 time and then they put it into this like I don't remember what it's I don't know what they call it, but they basically compare your 40 time to like your weight and like what percentile you fall into. Because like theoretically, obviously, like a bigger set running back is gonna have a 40 time. He falls into the 100th percentile,
That's crazy.
meaning that he's like the running back. I don't remember the exact numbers, but he ran like a 4.340.
My name is
He's
Barry
like
Allen.
200, and he's like 240 pounds or something crazy like that. Like he is a big boy, and he can move.
He's gliding out there.
Yeah. So he's a good pickup. If you everybody needs running back. Let's be honest. Moving on to wide receivers. Matt Collins, he is surprisingly kind of good with Josh Allen. He just had 6 targets tonight and a touchdown. And the Bills' offense looks unstoppable.
And he's one with the earth. He grounds before every game. He walks barefoot into the stadium.
So, yeah, it's a good luck charm. Second is Jalen McMillan. He's filling Godwin's role. It looks like. He outscored Mike Evans this week.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And if Baker keeps just chucking balls up, Jalen McMillan's bound to catch 6 of them, maybe a touchdown. Moving on to tight end, Juwan Johnson had 7 targets and a touchdown, and he's filling some of Taysom's role. Obviously, he is not going to go in and take snaps as quarterback / running back, but he's a huge body, especially now if Derek Carr is not going to play. Tight ends usually get the better end of a backup quarterback. Second tight end, Pat Freiermuth. He's had back-to-back games with a touchdown. He didn't have as many targets this week, but Russ still likes him in the red zone. It looks like, and he's kind of like Gronk. He just runs down the middle of the field and just turns around and catches it.
And they play the Bengals in a couple of weeks, so
yeah. So get ready.
Yeah, he'll be good for that. Does that wrap that up?
That wraps that up.
Good job, Nicholas. And that wraps up Nick's picks. Do we have one final game update from Christopher?
Yeah, as of right now, Chiefs have the ball. They're driving down the field. But they just got an unnecessary roughness penalty. So they're backing them up 15 yards. They're probably in field goal range.
Great.
So they could theoretically go up. You just started the 4th quarter, though, so
I need this guy to miss it.
Really anything could happen. Yeah. I need Isaiah Pacheco to fumble because
that'd be great.
Before we go, Josh Allen now has the best quarterback performance of all time in fantasy.
Wow.
With today's performance?
With today's performance, he beat Michael Vick, who had 49.3. I don't know how the scoring is in many leagues, but according to what I'm reading, Josh Allen had 51.9, Michael Vick's in second with 49.3.
3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns to do that.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to make a suggestion for next week's podcast. Oh, please no. Oh, he dropped it. Thank you.
What was that?
Sorry. DeAndre Hopkins almost caught a touchdown. Sorry, I got distracted. We should, when you get to your Knicks picks, you should do like fantasy matchup, calling out like who's got good playoff schedule. Because at this point, you're really only picking guys up.
Okay, you want me to tell you one right now?
Yes.
Kyler Murray next week. You need to play Kyler Murray. He is going to be the quarterback 3. I promise you.
50-yard field goal is good.
Listen. Oh.
But I have him. I don't. But every time I play him, he sucks.
Do you want to trust me or not?
I'll trust you.
Play.
It's week 1 of the playoffs. I'm going to be real mad if I lose.
Play. Are you playing me?
Probably not.
Okay,
if you get in,
playing me, don't play him.
Seed. I'm the 5 seed.
Don't play him then.
Him making that.
Or play him.
Unless Chase Brown dies tomorrow, it's pretty much guaranteed that he's getting in. Because I'm now losing by 2 points, and there's 13 minutes left in the 4th, and my dad has Chase Browns, and I have Brandon Aubrey.
Lisan Al Gaib is coming.
Yeah, but
Yeah, hey,
kickers
you're
can
welcome.
ball.
You're welcome. I retained. I'm gonna pick up the microphone for this one. I retained some league integrity here because my dad said, "Wait, so what's it got to take for? What's your name in this league? What's your name in this league?
Pickens my nose.
Yeah, what's it got to take for Pickens my nose to make it in the playoffs?" I said, "Well, if I win and Matt wins, he ain't getting in." And he said, "I don't want him in the playoffs." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because he's gonna beat me if he gets in the playoffs." I said,
He's afraid
I
of
said,
me.
"Well, what do you want me to do about it?" He's like, "I'll sit somebody." I'm like, "Do not sit somebody. He will be so mad if you sit somebody." He's like,
That's
he's like,
crazy.
"You're not telling me to." I'm like, "I'm telling you not to." I'm like, "Do not sit." He's like, "I'll sit Chase Brown. I don't care." I'm like, "Dude, do not sit Chase Brown. You have to play him." He's like, "He's gonna sneak in on the 6th seed and run the table."
Again.
And I'm like, "Dude," I'm like, "You can't sit."
This is exactly what happened last year.
Yeah, he does not want to play you. So if you make it in, you have to run the table now.
That's what I plan to do.
I'm pretty much it's over for me in both leagues and ESPN. Now,
Yeah, my chance of making the playoffs in the dynasty is probably gone.
now I have
need
to.
Isaiah. My chance, I'm losing by 1 point. I need Isaiah Pacheco to fumble, and then it's fine. But if anything changes, that's over.
I need to fight the good fight in Dynasty now. It's on.
Who
Yeah.
do you play?
I'll probably end up playing Zach if Chris loses in the first round of the playoffs. A tale as old as time. I play Zach every single freaking time in the playoffs. I was
I'm
hoping.
the opposite of you, Johnny. I made the playoffs in both ESPN leagues that matter, and
Well,
both dynasty leagues that I'm in that I pay for. I did not make
like
it.
I said, ESPN were the leagues I had just way too many injuries to come back from. And I forgot some earlier when I was talking to you. For those of you listening, listen to this. Let me just get this out here. Stephon Diggs. These are the people that I lost this year. Stephon Diggs, CMC, Rashee Rice. Those are all season-ending injuries. Extended injuries, Mike Evans, Jonathan Taylor, Brian Robinson Jr., Kenneth Walker.
Sorry, did you name CMC?
I did. But I forgot earlier, Rashee Rice, I drafted him. I literally I lost him so early in the season, I forgot about him. I just had to throw him out the window because I lost him so early. I was like, oh, I'll fix it. I drafted him and Stephon Diggs as my 1 and 2, and I lost both of them. And then I drafted CMC and Jonathan Taylor, and I lost both of them. You can't come.
To me in one league.
You can't come back from that. So it's a miracle I squeaked out 5 wins. Is what it is. Now it's
a tough business.
Yeah, now it's time to just run the table in Dynasty. Hopefully, at least get a podium spot, and then draft better next year in my league. Not to take freaking. Actually, I didn't really mind my draft. You just can't predict that many injuries. You just can't do it.
No, you can't. And your league's a little hard too with the keepers because it makes it difficult because everybody's keeping. All the good running backs are usually running backs that basically aren't in the first round. So then it's a very hard line where nobody has running backs, so you feel obligated to spend a draft pick on a running back, but because you feel that way, you're reaching. So then it's this weird like. But the problem is if you play the balancing act of like, well, I'm not going to reach, everybody else is.
Yeah.
So then because everybody else is, you're forced to,
then it's
or
just
you don't get anything.
a cascade
it's
of
weird,
reaching.
Yeah, the dynasty. You're basically reaching and hoping that your reach is actually translating to good. Like my Saquon, it's not a reach, but the Saquon pick, like that worked out.
Do you guys have any
Grabbing,
idea
like,
who your
ETN.
keepers are going to be in my league?
I mean, Amon-Ra. That's the obvious one from my team. For those who don't know, Amon-Ra is going to be a 14th round keeper. So that's the clear one.
Who drafted him? Who's the brain box of this?
If you were such a brain box, why'd you trade him away?
because I won the league trading him away
It's true.
as a 6th seed, and it was a smoking deal.
Yeah, I don't think I had a chance of winning that year, so I traded it away. I think I gave you like Justin Jefferson.
No, I had Justin Jefferson. You gave me Brees and somebody crazy.
For just Amon-Ra?
Yeah. No, it was like Amon-Ra and then like somebody else. I don't remember, but I ended up with Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, and Puka Nacua as my wide receivers last year, with Brees Hall and Jameer Gibbs and Lamar Jackson. And I was a 6th seed, and I made the run.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Okay,
it's gonna be hard, honestly. Just my initial thought to not keep Saquon.
yeah, I mean, he is a first rounder, so what does it matter?
Yeah.
And if you're in the playoffs, he'll be a low first rounder, so you're even getting a better deal.
I'm keeping Chuba, Hubbard, and Jameer. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. Where was Chuba at? Let's late, right?
Undrafted.
There you go.
I'm probably going to keep, as of right now, it was crazy. I'm probably going to keep Bo Nix at 16, and then Brian Robinson Jr. at...
I hope you know, Bo Nix is going to become Jared Goff next year, and whatever you play him, he's going to be bad. Whenever you don't play him, he's going to be good. Mark my words.
That's how a lot of those first-year quarterbacks... I mean, look at Stroud this year.
Yeah. But look at Bryce Young this year.
But,
yeah, but Bryce Young had to get benched for that to happen.
Like, Brian Robinson Jr. as an 8th, that's not terrible. It's not great.
Yeah.
No, I bet he goes earlier than that next year.
Yeah,
with that offense the way as good as it is right now.
My other options are Kenneth Walker as a 15th, which again that sounds good on paper, but Kenneth Walker, Mike Evans as a 3rd. I'm not doing that. Too high. Jerry Jeudy. I could keep Jerry Jeudy. I'm not joking. If Jameis Winston is starting next year,
can you keep them both? Wouldn't those both be free agents? In which case, they'd both be 16th rounders.
If it's a free agent, you get to pick.
I was just say it'd be 16 and 15.
Can you do it that way? You pick it?
Yeah, you just choose.
You pick where it is, so everybody, you could do 16, 15.
But that's literally all I have. Like, those are my options. I'm not keeping Garrett Wilson in the 1st. That's not happening. I'm not keeping Christian McCaffrey. I'm not keeping Adam Thielen, Jared Goff, Mark Andrews. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I got. So we'll have to see how it plays out. We'll have to see how the playoffs play out. If you have any playoff matchup questions, please feel free to reach out on any of our socials. We check them daily. On X, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, TikTok. Although TikTok is probably shutting down. It's proceeding through the House. Right now, the date that they have to sell it by is January 19th. So be on the lookout. That one might be shutting down.
It's all right. They'll refill it with some new
brain rot.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be something.
Yeah,
we'll come out with something on that platform, I'm sure. So whatever.
But thank you for spending your time with us. We will be back next Monday, not tomorrow. The following Monday, we will be watching our Bengals either soften the pain or twist the knife in our back tomorrow night. But until next time, thank you for spending your time with us. Goodbye.